Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is John Perbanik, so for those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of introducing myself to, hopefully I'll have the privilege of introducing myself and our team later on, and certainly we'll be reaching out to everybody after the fact. Before we get started, I would just like to personally thank Tom Pepin and T. Pepin's Hospitality Center for their great support. If it wasn't for businesses and individuals and owners like Tom, this wouldn't happen. And of course, everybody here that's participating with us today, without your participation, without your interest, it would not happen. So thank you very much for being here today and participating in this event. What I'd like to do right now is just introduce our MC, who probably doesn't need much of an introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and do my best. Sandra Merman, Commissioner Sandra Merman, please come on up.
Thank you, John, and good afternoon, everyone. So good to have you here. Couldn't wait to be a Master of Ceremonies. I have never been one before, so this will be my first. And actually, I actually Googled Master of Ceremonies to see what exactly should I do to do that. But I think I'm going to be kind of like the orchestra leader, just keep things flowing. And I couldn't wait to be here today because, of course, my friend Richard Gonsmar, the problem with his new restaurant that opened up, every time I really like something, I always go, goody, goody, you know? And now he has a restaurant. And so I've got to come up with a new saying when something really good happens to me in my life. But y'all know Richard just opened up his great restaurant, Goody Goody, in Hyde Park. Yay! Bringing Tampa, the culture of Tampa back and all the heritage back. It's just really exciting. I'm very pleased today to be here for this inaugural lunch and learn. I found John's welcome letter on the inside cover of the event program, and I thought it was very, very interesting because the focus of today's program being diversity and inclusion in the workforce and the diversity initiative's goal of empowerment through employment aligns very closely with my own beliefs and passion to help connect job seekers with local employers. You know, we live in the best county in the state of Florida. We are being recognized by almost every major publication. It's the #1 place to retire, the #1 place to locate, to move to in the Southeast. We're actually the #1 place to own a pet, if all of you have read that lately. But we are becoming the #1 place to be. And it's got to be inclusive and it's got to be diverse. It can't just be about the color of your skin. It's got to be also about the ability. And people with disabilities need to have be included in diversity, especially in the workforce. And our economy has recovered, not completely, but we are on our way there. We are still gaining about, 30,000 new residents every single year here in Tampa. That's phenomenal growth, and we're glad they're coming here, but we've got to accommodate for them and what they bring with them. And this is just going to be fantastic forum today to bring those discussions together. I see my friend Steve Kona out here from the ABC Contractors, and I know that this is always a topic that's first and foremost, and of course the construction industry rebounding has also been such great news. But many small and large local businesses are already facing worker shortfalls, especially with mass retirements. We are going through that at Hillsborough County. Especially in our utilities area, where we have so many people retiring, and we're trying to figure out how can we replenish this workforce, especially within the residents we have here in Tampa Bay. So it's hitting everybody. Our businesses are facing increased challenges in recruiting part-time and full-time employees, plus developing talent internally to help meet their growing demands. I agree with John's statement in his welcome letter that diversity and inclusion is quickly gaining momentum as a critical part of talent acquisition, business success, and organizational effectiveness. Those sound like all big words, but it's bottom line, hiring these people. As he points out, the presentations you hear today will highlight a number of workforce challenges already being experienced by the Tampa Bay business community and how diversity and inclusion can be a solution to really helping these businesses. As some of you know, I have been hosting a lot of job fairs throughout Tampa and Hillsborough County over the last 6 years. I believe it's very important to connect our businesses with the people that are seeking jobs. And a lot of people don't know where to go other than just apply when they see something posted online. I think it's good to have face-to-face with an employer and someone seeking a job. That's going to give them the first foot in the door. I plan to continue to do this, and as you know, just my 8 years in the legislature, I worked very hard for people with disabilities. In fact, I spearheaded the legislation that created the Agency for Persons with Disabilities. So this is something that's very, very important to me. My husband and I, his brother had Down syndrome. He worked at Publix for many years until he passed away. And so we were his caretakers and his guardians. So I understand the challenges, and I just want to help you. I want to help you today really gain that full understanding of being an employer that really will embrace hiring people with disabilities. And I think that's what's so important, and the inclusion for the future. I did want to mention to you the yellow card that you have on the front cover of your event program will give you an opportunity to sign up for a no-fee consultation with a diversity initiative, staff at your office. So all you have to do is complete this card and give it to a diversity initiative volunteer before you leave today, or leave it at your table. Fill it out, leave it at your table, and they will pick it up. So with that, I'm very excited today, and I am Ernest Coney. If you would come forward, he is going to give us our invocation. Thank you.
I am the young Ernest Coney. Actually, I can remember my son was growing up, and he would call the house, and they say, "I'd like to speak to Ernest." And I say, "Which one?" And they would say, the younger Ernest Coney. I guess I must be the elder. Let us pray. Father, we take this time to acknowledge you, the one true God. Thank you for this experience called life. Thank you for the gift of life, our families. We even thank you for the animals, the pets that bring us such joy. We adore the power of the creativity and of your beauty. Like the diversity initiative, whose purpose is wrapped in humanity, making the world a better place for all mankind. Their service benefits others in this present generation and generations to come. Thank you for their story, like the Bible stories. Truth and beauty is present, and the power to elevate and uplift. Father, we thank you now. Amen.
Thank you, Ernest, for that wonderful invocation. Appreciate it. Now we have a surprise. Our Governor Rick Scott, has done a video for us. It's 1 to 2 minutes, It's going to be shown, followed by the lunches that will be served at your table. And I am very excited about this. As you know, our governor has done a lot. Of course, he is the jobs governor. He's really into creating jobs and making jobs announcements, and really has stayed laser focused. So with that, I'm not sure who is cues us up. You ready? Okay, good.
Hi, I'm Governor Rick Scott. I am honored to welcome so many advocates from all over the state to the Diversity Initiatives Lunch and Learn event. You are very strong voices in the community for individuals with unique abilities in Florida. Thank you for all you do. We want all Floridians to have the opportunity to live independent, healthy lives. A job is the #1 way to change a person's life, and individuals with unique abilities deserve every opportunity to succeed. By leading the charge to create these important opportunities in your workplace, you will change lives. I look forward to working with you to make Florida the best place for individuals to live their dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Scott. That was great. Good inspiration. I do want to introduce some VIP guests that we have here today. We do have County Commissioner Stacy White. My fellow Commissioner Stacy White is here with us. Thank you, Stacy, for coming. Are there any other public officials here? I don't want to miss anyone. Okay, thank you all very much. I am now proud to introduce the Diversity Initiative introductory video that will be shown now on the large screen.
Persons with disabilities represent the largest and most versatile talent pool in our economy. The range of abilities, talents, skills, experience, and education that reside within this group is as or more diverse than you would see with other talent pools.
We spend a great deal of time getting to know the candidates that we work with so that we can really understand what skills, talents, and abilities they can contribute to the workforce. For many small businesses, we become an extension of their HR team. We have already worked with that individual to know that they're motivated and reliable and can meet the needs of the business. So because we've invested the time in getting to know the candidate as well as the organization and their needs, when we refer a candidate to a business, there's a 90% chance that that person's going to work out, not just 50-50 like traditional hiring methods.
And Vanessa helped me get this job, and it's been really a lot of fun helping. You know, they gave me an opportunity to work at City Clerk's office, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been doing a lot of work.
She's been with our office since September of 2008. She's very good. She comes in on time. Once you explain to her what she needs to do, and you show her what to do, she does it.
Well, I work with Patty. She's staff herself, and she understands their culture and the needs of their people. So she's helped me find jobs that fit what I need, my skills. And she also educates them about the job culture, and that's very important. I feel proud that I'm able to provide for my family, and I'm happy that I was able to overcome a lot of obstacles. If you hire a person with a disability, know that they will work very hard, and also if they're able to do whatever you give them.
Anjali is a true asset. She came to us from the minute I did her phone interview. She was so warm, and it's very helpful to have someone like Anjali answering the phones. She also has a great work ethic and is completely compassionate to our population. TDI has been very supportive of our staffing needs. They give us good quality candidates. They also provide support after the employee gets hired. They offer job coaching. They will pull in every resource they have in order to support that employee.
There are many benefits to diversity and inclusivity in the workplace, more than just employee morale. There are significant increases that businesses who have done this successfully, like WellCare, have seen from including individuals with disabilities in their workplace, such as increased productivity, decreased costs of turnover, ability to execute plans more effectively because of the diverse perspectives in the room. And those are the many benefits that we want all employers to know about.
TDI provided us an introduction to Anthony, and he's been an incredible employee to us, so we loved working with him. He handles all the management of the warehouse, he does all the pick, pack, and ship. He handles many different parts of the operation for us. With TDI, they've been fantastic. They've not only kept in touch with us to make sure we're happy, but also have coached Anthony to make sure that he's doing the work that he needs to do and that he's successful at his job. If we did ever need another employer, I would definitely use TDI again.
They actually care about you and they think you're worth something. Sometimes that's what we all need. We all need to feel like we're worth something and we have value in life. It gives you purpose. Yeah, TDI, they helped me get the job, which I'm grateful. I tell them, yeah, it's still full-time, still 5 days a week, and everything's great.
We've had a lot of struggle actually finding the right person for the position that Anthony's in. We had a lot of turnover. We had great people that came in with a lot of warehouse experience, but they slowly but surely didn't show up for work, or there was a lot of turnover. We went through several employees, and Anthony's been amazing. If I could pick the perfect person for the position, I wouldn't have guessed it would have been him, but it was. He's been incredible. He shows up, he's diligent. His work ethic is unbelievable, but not only that, his particular attention to detail is incredible. You can't take him off task, and he works fast and solid and very good quality, and we just love working with him.
I love my job, and thank you, TDI.
TDI can provide really good quality employees as far as also interaction with them. They're trained. They're interested in being in the position. They'll find the right type of person for the right employer and the right position. They're going to align that, as well as finding someone who's really interested and enthusiastic about their work. No fees. That's the best part. I mean, to get a great employee like that and also have it for free, it's a no-brainer.
Our agency has invested in becoming a resource to the business community through our no-fee consultation and recruitment services. TDI spends a great deal of time promoting our services to the business community and educating employers about the versatility and value of this diverse talent pool.
Thank you so much, and I guess I want to give another round of applause to the Diversity Initiative and all they're doing. Thank you so much. It's very heartwarming. I think the things that came out of the individuals that were speaking, value, empowerment. I mean, when you think about it, it's very special what this group is doing. And I actually also want to announce we've had great service here today, and courtesy of the Pepin Academy, Krisha and Tom, thank you very much. 6 of the servers today were from the Pepin Academy, so thank you, Tom. Thank you, Krisha. It's wonderful. And now I'd like to introduce Alan Anderson. If he'd like to come forward, he's going to make a great presentation.
So I need some technical help as how I change this. Just click it? All right, I can't read it. All right. Commissioner, thank you. What a nice introduction. And thank you to all of you who have been so warmly welcoming me to South Florida. I actually came in from Brazil. And I have to tell you, it's cooler there than it is here. So I'm not in this room. This room is kind of cool. So, but the warm welcome made up for the coolness in the room. All right. Thank you for the invitation, and let me tell you what I'm going to be speaking about. Employers are generally looking for good employees, and they're looking for good employees on a consistent basis. And as employers in this room, that'll be something you probably want to try to address. But you also probably want to try to address the issue of diversity. Diversity is a fact of life now inside employment inside of North America. And how do we make diversity actually work and be more effective for you? What I want to tell you is some of the information that we've gathered over the last numbers of years around our conversations with employers and service providers around things that can make diversity a greater success. Now, my company is based in Canada. It's based in 3 countries. Canada, it's based in Brazil, and it's also based here in the United States. And in those 3 different locations, we have about 35 years worth of experience of talking to employers and talking to service providers. And they have been giving us, the hiring managers, have been giving us tons of information around how to make these things actually work. And what I'd like to do is synopsize and present that information to you as an option that you can use when you're trying to put diversity programs in place in your organizations or your companies. I have divided the information that we have received into 2 sections, what we call foundational needs that we hear from employers, things that they tell us, and what we call situational needs that we hear from employers that they also tell us. And let me just explain what these 2 things are. Foundational needs, after you talk to people for a number of years, you keep hearing the same theme over and over again about what makes hiring somebody with a disability a success for an employer and what makes diversity a success for a company or an organization. And those same themes that we hear time and time again are what we call our foundational needs. And I'm going to spend some time talking about them because I think if you understand that we know those needs and we understand them, then the engagement that you can have with a service provider is much more profound and much more effective. We also have what we call situational needs. When you talk to individual companies at an individual moment in time, I'll give you a funny little example that when I was in the field, we had a lumberyard company call us, and they were looking for somebody to work in the yard cutting material, driving a truck. And when they told us on the telephone what they were looking for, my staff said to me, "We don't have anybody that can do that." And I said, "Listen, just go out and see them. When you go out and see them, ask them what they want." And they went out to see them, and we'd heard this long list: driver's license, true commitment, can measure, all these long lists for this lumberyard person. And when they went out to see them, the manager said, "You have somebody who can start tomorrow?" It was a situational need. There was something very specific that they had to address right now, and even though they were putting a lot onto the table, there was something else going on here. And so we recognized there was a whole different set of needs that we could respond to, that we could help employers address if we began to look at the situation a little bit differently. And those situational needs, I'm going to leave up to Vanessa when she comes up to give you an explanation of that. So the universal ones, the foundational needs, I'm going to begin to talk about. And at some point, if you have any interest in talking more about this, you're going to have TDI, and I will still be here if you want to see how these might apply to your own organizations. All right, I've just listed the 4 main needs that we address, that we see over and over again, that can add some value both to employers to say, yes, please say this to when you're looking for somebody so that they will understand what you want and you will feel comfortable getting into that relationship. The first one is employers continually say to us, make sure you listen to us. I cannot tell you the number of times I've talked to employers who have said, I would really like to be involved, but the challenge is they don't hear me. They don't understand what I am saying and what I need. And therefore, because they don't hear me, it's very hard to get into this relationship alone when I don't really understand it and I don't know what to do, and therefore I really do need them to listen to us. And if you believe this, and this is such a fundamental idea for us, if you believe in listening to the employer, if you believe in understanding what they are saying and the circumstances they are facing, you are truly believing in making sure it's the ability to do the job that is the focus of the decision and not the disability. When you truly listen to an employer, when the employer truly can tell you that themselves, they themselves will begin to disregard the disability. Because what are they focusing on? And as an employer, you will know this. You are focusing on, can this person do this job? That's all we have to focus on. But if we begin to focus on things like, my favorite line is from employers, do not sell me the disability. I am not interested in buying the disability. It's irrelevant. Sell me the candidate. Tell me what that candidate can actually do for me, can do for my company. I believe in the cause, or I don't give a about the cause, but I do give about the person I'm hiring. I don't care about them. I care only that they can do the job. which is a blessing to all of us over the age of 45. Because if you have to start looking for another job, you better hope they don't give a tinker's damn about the color of your hair. So this is something that's very important in our industry. Get them to stop looking at the disability by getting ourselves to listen. We want to hear what the employer actually has to say. The second thing that we have is make us more confident in the hire. Employers, when they talk to us, say, listen, we don't really care about the disability. What we care about is how it fits in the company. What we care about is how we make it actually work. And we're not confident that we can actually do that. We don't have the experience, we don't have your expertise, so make us feel confident. Help us get beyond the resume. Help us understand this person at a deeper level. I'm going to give you my funny example when I was dealing with some HR directors in Missouri. And at that time, we were asking them to hire people with who were visual impairment, who were blind, and mostly people who were blind. And the HR manager came up to me and said, Alan, you know, we would love to hire these people, except we don't know how they culturally fit in. We don't know how to answer the questions that our colleagues will ask us, or our employees will ask us about people who are blind. And I said, well, what's the question? And they said, well, let's say they go out for lunch, and they come back, and it's a man, and he has mustard on his tie. What should I say to him? And I said, you've got mustard on your tie. The ordinariness of the relationship, because it is new, is difficult for employers to embrace. And because of that, we need to give them that kind of support, to be able to have them believe that they can be confident that the decision they're making is about the skills of the candidate and what that candidate can actually do for them. I'm sorry, the screen is so small I can't read it. Can I take off my glasses and look at the screen? Thank you. All right. Thank you. That's why I want them looking at the ability, not the disability. All right, the other thing is that, and I forgot what I looked at. The other thing is, how do I pull out the assets of the candidate? One of the things that's hard is that when you don't really have that traditional view of the person, where am I on my time? I got 1 minute left, or I got to do that one really quickly. All right, when you don't really have that traditional view of the person, it's hard to know how to get involved with them. So help us pull out those assets of the individual, and look out for our interests. Employers want us to say, when you've got something great, tell us about it. Look out for us. Help us solve problems ahead of time. Help us know, or help us plan how we can use this in other ways to take us new places. The most common example I get after employers hire from us is to say this: when you've got another great person, tell me. That's going to help me. I don't want you just to wait till I get another job opening. I want you to come and tell me. Why? Because it makes my life easier. It's the idea of listening to that particular employer. And then finally, and then I'm going to stop on this and give it over to Vanessa Rodriguez over there, who's got a better voice than I do. Work ethic. For some reason, work ethic is sifting away like sand. It's funny. I'll give you my final example. I worked with another lumber company, HR director, and I said, what is your primary problem here? And she said, I can't get anybody to work overtime. Right, they play double time and overtime. And I said, what? Can't get anybody to work overtime? She said, no. She said, no, it's just part of how people think now. Their job is 9 to 5. I can't get a bigger commitment than 9 to 5. And I think back to when I was a kid. What did your dad tell you when you were going out to work? Work your ass off, right? Take all the overtime you can get. Why? Because then you can buy a car and you're not using the family car anymore. So the mentality that they're dealing with, they're wrestling with some new ideas. Where they're coming from, I don't know. But it's an advantage if we can hear that and we can provide new types of solutions to those employers. With that, thank you. I'm going to introduce you to Vanessa Rodriguez, who is the Vice President of TDI, and who looks much better than I do.
I am now very proud to introduce Vanessa Rodriguez. She's Vice President of the Diversity Initiative. I have to tell you, I have met with her in my office, and I am just amazed to have such young talent interested in this subject. I think it's very heartwarming to see somebody that's really committed to helping people with disabilities. Throughout the past 10 years, Vanessa's no-fee employment services have facilitated hundreds of successful employment matches between job seekers with disabilities and the greater Tampa Bay business community. Vanessa's consultations and support have allowed small to large organizations meet their needs while realizing the many benefits of inclusive hiring practices for part-time and full-time employees. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Vanessa to the stage.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Commissioner Merman. Excited to be here today. And didn't Alan just do a great job laying out those foundational needs? So again, as Commissioner Merman and Alan said, I'm Vanessa Rodriguez. I'm the Vice President of the Diversity Initiative. And Alan has told you all about foundational needs, and he touched on what situational needs are. And so let us tell you how we at TDI can help you with both of those. I want to show you how we do business as an organization. As you can see on the screen here, we have 4 steps to how we do business. Number 1 is starting with understanding situational needs. So the specifics of the job, your business culture at this specific point in time. Step 2 is task analysis and fit. Step 3 is matching. And step 4 is partnership. Now you may have heard in the video that all of our services are also provided on a no-fee basis. So let's jump into step 1. Our first step is to understand your situational needs. So like Alan said, there's those universal needs, foundational needs, that are common to most, if not all, employers. But we really also need to know what those unique and situational needs are, particular to your business and the work that you need done. So we do this by actively listening to you in a face-to-face conversation that we would be having at your work site, where we're asking insightful questions that really help us to get to know your workplace, your business, and also what tasks, what work you need to have done. We also focus on helping you meet corporate goals such as diversity. We're going to further our understanding of your situational needs in step 2 by doing a task analysis and a fit. So basically we're focusing on the tasks that you need done. What are the important tasks of the job? What really needs to be done given the circumstances? And Alan had a great example in that point in time. Sometimes we think it's a lot of things, but sometimes we just need the job to get done. And so that gets uncovered in this step. But we also realize that tasks are done within an environment, right? And that's what we call our fit. So what does someone really need to do the work here at this given moment in time and over time in the future? How does someone need to fit in to do the work? And we can offer you solutions that you may not have thought of to get the job done. So now that we know you and we know the job, the next step is step 3, which is matching. So we know who we are going to be recommending because, again, we know the job, but we also have in-depth knowledge about our candidates. We work with the individuals that we represent for at least 6 weeks. And during that time, we're getting to know what their knowledge, skills, and abilities are and what they can really offer you in your place of business. So when we make a recommendation, and you'll see on the screen, we're really looking at 3 things. We are looking at understanding your job well. Number 2 is understanding our candidate well. And number 3 is having the confidence that when we're making that recommendation, we truly believe that that's going to be a recommendation that's going to work for you. So we have all that criteria met, we make a recommendation. We only proceed if you agree. So again, we're only proceeding if you agree because this is an employer-employee relationship. You still have the final say in the hire. Finally, on step 4 is partnership. Our long-term goal is to have or our ultimate goal is to have a long-term relationship with every business and organization that we work with, where you hire from us, and also we continue to provide you with candidates and great service, like you heard on the video, ongoing support to not just the candidate, but to you. We know you, we understand you at this point, and we'll be able to give you possible solutions, potential solutions for the future that are gonna make things easier for you, that are gonna be helpful to you, and add value to the relationship that we will be having. TDI has a value added commitment to our services, which is simply this: you will have more with us as your partner than you had without us as your partner. So some of the value added benefits that companies and organizations that we have worked with have realized have been things like access to resources that you can't get on your own, faster responses that speed up your hiring process, that's another one, answers to the disability-related questions, like Alan shared about the mustard on the tie, which was a great example. Candidate proposals that not only give you more choice, but first choice of available candidates. And also sometimes it's just a unique solution to a problem that just won't go away, or a task that needs a different approach. So, if you haven't figured it out yet, we want to do business with you. And we would love the opportunity to talk to you about that. With each of your event programs, as Sandy mentioned, you've heard a couple of times today, there's a yellow card. So if you have an interest, an immediate need, or a future need, whether that is traditional or unique, please make sure to fill out the card. When you have it filled out, we have a great group of volunteers here today ready to collect your information, because we want to connect with you. We want to meet face-to-face with you in your workplace and learn about how we can assist you. At the end of today's program, Alan mentioned, we're going to be in the back tables. Right over here, you'll see the Diversity Initiative banner in the back corner. Alan, John, and myself will be back there, able to talk to you, answer any questions that you may have. So please do come and see us. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Richard Godsmart, a man who probably needs no introduction. Oh, is he feeling, oh, fantastic. Fantastic. I like that. And actually, I'll get some brownie points. We ate at Eulalie yesterday. You're welcome, no, thank you. Let me know when you're ready and I'll proceed. So Richard's education in the hospitality industry began very early in his life when his grandfather taught him how to identify fresh fish. He is the great-grandson of Casimiro Hernandez Sr., the founder of the world-famous Columbia restaurant based out of Ybor City. Am I embarrassing you yet? Richard's practical experience began at age 12, spending summers as an apprentice cook at the Columbia. He certainly has come a long way since then, huh? Under Richard's direction, the Columbia has expanded from 2 locations to 7. In August of 2014, he opened that beautiful restaurant I just mentioned, Eulalie, on the Hillsborough River and River Walk, just north of downtown Tampa and Tampa Heights. Most recently, as Commissioner Merman mentioned earlier, his recent project has been the grand reopening earlier this week of Goody Goody, an iconic restaurant that had been closed since 2005. So congratulations to Richard again. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Richard Godsmart, our keynote speaker.
Thank you. Good afternoon. When I was asked to speak today, I thought I was speaking to a school of 30 students. Shows you. I'm honored to be here. Because you see, I was one of those students that struggled in school. A time when they didn't understand about challenges in education. And I can remember struggling through 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th, 8th grade at the Academy of the Holy Names of Sister Mary Jane Francis gave me confidence when I struggled. And when I took the test to enter Jesuit, I failed it. But they gave me another opportunity and took me into summer school. It was a dream to go to Jesuit High School. A gentleman I looked up to, Randy Canal, who I saw yesterday, good. He was a great athlete. His number was 30. He was a running back. And the fact that I failed was a struggle. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't understand what my problem was. I had to figure out how to try to succeed and how to survive, and to the point of having to record classes to go home. I was fortunate to play football with Tom Pebben. We won the state championship in our sophomore season. But what he probably didn't know, I was a running back. My dyslexia was horrible. I transposed numbers to the point that I'd have to ask the quarterback, are we going this way or that way? It shook my confidence. It made me wonder if I had struggles reading with my dyslexia. You give me a book and I can't handle that. Being gone from Eulalia, and all of a sudden I had 600 emails yesterday. I can't deal with that. I take things at one time, one project at a time. And when I was 40, after my father passed away, I had to understand where I was, because I was the younger son, and I had an older brother that really didn't show that passion, and I had to take over. So I had to understand why these struggles, why I couldn't focus on different projects. And when I went to USF at the age of 40, and they said, you are dyslexic and you have ADHD. They put me on a medication. And 4 days later, I said, I don't need that, it's not me. I have to learn how to function, and I had to surround myself around people that could help me succeed. I faced a huge challenge at the time of my father's death, and I had to overcome business obstacles. So I had to get a great CEO, a great chief operating officer, because you see, my mind is circling like a roulette wheel constantly. And I like that. I had to take care of that business, and we grew it, and our sales are 5 times more than they were back at that time. Now I knew what they said was a disability is not, it's a strength. It's a strength that I have, and that they don't know how to measure what I can offer the community and the business world. But more important, to people like me. 8 years ago, I asked for the 4-year transcripts of Jesuit that I have on my desk to share with students. I was 116th out of 121 students out of the 4 years. And when you show them that, they look and say they don't really believe it, that I had an average in English of 71. Yet I do write. And I've become creative. And if you're on Facebook, friends, I know some of you are, you say, where do you get that? Well, I'm speaking from my mind. I've learned to. And sometimes when I don't read it, I realize I do things in reverse. But it helps express and give confidence to others. See, I'm not unique. There are so many young people out there that need hope. Because I think about this Columbia restaurant that started in 1905. And when you hear about the Tampa Cuban sandwich is different than the Miami, I say that's a sandwich of diversity and inclusion. People that came, it is. And this is why our sandwich is special. Because you have people that immigrated here without an education, like my great-grandfather with 4 young sons, but a desire to work, a desire to succeed. You had them come from Cuba and from Spain and from Sicily. You had the Jews from Russia. And that's where the salami comes from, the Sicilians, the ham from the Spanish, the pork from the Cubans, and the mustard, the pickles, and the cheese from those Jews that immigrated here. And aren't we grateful? But we have a gentleman that I know that worked 47 years as a server without an education. And he worked hard enough to put his son through University of Florida, through law school, and he retired when his son became the mayor and eventually the governor, Bob Martinez. And Serafin Lopez, who worked till he was 83 with a second pacemaker's son, says, Dad, I think it's time to retire. His son was chief of neurology at the University of Miami. The stories go on and on and on and on. And I just believe that there's so many young people that can make a difference. Like a young 15-year-old high school dropout that my dad took under his wings and said, son, he'd gotten in trouble with the law. I'll give you an opportunity. If you'll help take care of my business, I'll take care of you. He had learning disabilities, and today, 53 years later, he's the general manager of the oldest restaurant in the state of Florida. One of only 14 in the United States still owned 100% by the founding family 100 years and older. And then there's a young man that I admire. When I talk to my team, his name is Brock. He's autistic. He's been with us 12 years. I would take 100 Brocks. Give me more of them. Because when I see Brock every day, hey, Mr. Gonsmer, how are you doing? He's happy. Always greeting that guest. Always upbeat. And so when it was time to now bring to you Goody Goody, a project that took me 10 years to purchase, 2 years to work with, I said, now I have to do something. I want to shake up this industry called the restaurant industry. I wanted to reach out and find a diverse group of people. I wanted to find those young students that had been in some issues and challenges in education. I wanted to find that young mother, single mother, that was living in a drug facility with her child. And when I see a young man named Craig, that I talk to him and I want to know his stories, I want to know each one of them. And that first day, he had been there at 7 in the morning, and he stayed side by side with me. And he went outside and says, Mr. Gonsmer, did I make you proud? Son, did I make you proud? And Mary Kate, a single mother, yesterday working, giving her hope where she's living. Oh, Lord. You know, we all have dreams, no matter who you are. We're not a country and a city of robots. When I went to a factory in Spain, and there weren't anybody there, they had nobody, just machines or robots moving products around. There's no soul. And in your businesses, when you hire one of these people and you make their dreams come true, that's the best feeling in the world. And I'm on a mission to try to create a culinary program for disadvantaged kids on Florida Avenue, just north of the lake, 1 block from where I attended 1st through 3rd grade Sacred Heart, when I didn't understand why children were living in these projects. And there's a fence that's 8 feet tall. That's not to keep people out, but to keep them in. And I've asked Frank Crittman, city councilman, to create a gate, that gate to hope, where 3 weeks will be toward life skills and 12 weeks toward the culinary program, and interning at restaurants like Burns and the Columbia, etc. That's how we make a difference. And when I opened George's Cafe, named after the general manager that struggled, and that you can go there, and you can go there, and you can go there at a reasonable price, and where they made everything, and you tell them, that was really good, congratulations. Words they're not used to hearing. That's how we change lives in your business, my business. I'm a person of great faith, and when I was coming here today, my music is diverse from classic to psychedelic to jazz to children's music. And I've listened to this song 6 times, and I was in tears. And I'll just read you the verse that to me it's called The Rainbow Connection. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? What's on the other side? Well, rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it, but I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow, the connection, for lovers and dreamers and me. I'm a dreamer. I'm a person that has projects, and my wife says, you have to slow down. I've got 8 projects going on because I've surrounded myself with people. We're building a Sicilian restaurant to honor those Sicilians that came here in the 1900s. I leave for Sicily now at the end of September. I leave for Germany the 1st of September for 4 days to do something that I enjoy personally. I just bought a property on Longboat Key to resurrect a famous restaurant. I'm looking for these young people to give them hope to make them. I met a young man named Delvin Davis at Cafe Reconcile New Orleans. I said, son, you're gonna work with me. a young lady that we hired at Steinbrenner High School for children that work with us, and her parents told her she could never achieve anything, never realize a dream, and she's at CIA becoming a baker. And when I realized I could make a difference in life, and I coached 1 year at Jesuit High School, I don't have the time to do it. And my wife says, why are you doing this? I said, the Lord wants me to be there. There was one young man, African American, the only one on the team, and everybody told him he would never be an athlete. He was too slow, he was this. And he told me, did you play with Leonard George, Coach? Leonard George was the first African American to sign a scholarship at University of Florida, and the star of our football team when we won the state championship. I said, I did. Well, I couldn't win him over, I couldn't give him confidence. I said, son, we were playing plant. I'm gonna give you the knee pad that Leonard George gave me, saying I was gonna be the next great running back. And you will be that next great running back. I finally got a smile. And they'd put him in a game, I'd put him in a game, they'd take him out, put him back in, and said, when track season comes, become a sprinter. Be a hermit, learn how to jump over people. Well, he did. And he ended up starring at Jesuit. He went to Louisville, where he starred as a freshman and sophomore. He transferred to Georgia Tech, where he starred as a junior and senior. Then he got drafted by the NFL, amazing, by the Baltimore Ravens. But when he got drafted, he said, Coach, thanks for making me realize my dreams could come true. And when he won that Super Bowl, and he has that Super Bowl ring, in this last January, when he wore his leather jacket to Jesuit, presenting Jesuit the 50th anniversary Super Bowl, he hugged me, and I felt like it was that freshman all over again. That's what it's about, is helping others realize your dream. That's the best gift. When you succeed, we have to help. It's not about the government helping, it's about businesses making the lives difference of those that deserve that opportunity. When I do my culinary program, I want no government support. It will be done by us. I want to practice faith, and I respect all faiths. I believe we have to teach history because we learn from those mistakes, and we learn from the successes. So I'm grateful for each one of you being here today. Just to share quickly a little story about where I came from and faced challenges that people don't realize, and how I've overcome and discovered who I am today. That I have a gift that others don't. And I'm blessed to have a 7-year-old granddaughter named Amelia, that she has the same challenge. And I tell you, just like your pop, I'm lucky. Because I know she'll be that dream, she'll carry on that torch. And she'll make sure that restaurant we do in Sarasota, the market I built in Ybor City, the restaurant I built across the street, the culinary program, Eulalie, Goody Goody, and I'm going to build the old Fort restaurant that once existed for Fort Brooke. That this family will continue to supply and offer opportunities for others to realize dreams. As I like to sign off often, and I say goodbye to you, is that here's to life and embracing each day with gratitude, with passion, with purpose, with kindness and compassion, faith and integrity. If we could just share the love with each other, this world, especially the city, would be a greater place. God bless each one of you. Thank you.
Richard Gonsmart, and you do have a gift. Thank you so much. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I would just like to take this last opportunity to recognize our MC again, Commissioner Merman. If you can stand up, please, Sandy. Just, we can all give her a hand. A special thank you to Ron Pierce, president of RSA Consulting. He has been an extreme partner in helping us get to this point, so a personal acknowledgement of your work and the team's work. Thank you, Ron. Everybody have a great day. We're going to be at the back, so if you do have an opportunity, please stop in to speak with Vanessa, myself, or Alan Anderson. And if you don't have the opportunity today, please leave your contact information so we can reach out to you and begin some of these discussions. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you for coming.